What's up guys, it's Sully, and today I'm doing a 100% full game walkthrough for Dying Reborn, and I'm making this video on behalf of Maka. This game is sort of an escape the room, point and click adventure, first person perspective. You kind of explore your surroundings, find some items that you can interact with or maybe combine, solve some puzzles. The game has 19 achievements worth 1,000 Gamerscore. The bulk of the game is progression related, I should say the bulk of the achievements. Some of them are missable. What I do want to point out before I start this new game is the game has incredibly long loading screens and unskippable cutscenes, and the settings menu is not available in the game, so if you, like I do, prefer your Y-axis inverted, make sure you do that before you start the game, and I suggest cranking the brightness up to 100 to make things easier to see. So with that done, I will start a new game. You can make manual saves. I'm not really sure why you would because there is a chapter select, but start a new game, choose that first autosave item, I guess. I'll go ahead and overwrite it, and I'll get started. The general structure of this game is there are 6 chapters or sections. There is a chapter select, so you could go back and replay specific chapters if you need to. Each chapter will feature a long loading screen that will bring us to a splash screen where you can choose to actually start the chapter and then have another long loading screen. Then once you actually start the chapter, there's going to be a brief cutscene that kind of shows your character getting his bearings straight around the area, and then you'll have control and can start exploring and making your way through. So here I've pressed A at this splash screen for section or chapter 1, and now we'll have another loading screen. Take this time to explain the achievements. Like I said, most of them are progression related. There is one for collectibles, which are called, what are they called? Collectibles are called Memos, and you will find them, I think 25 total as we progress. I'll point all of them out. They're kept track of in a little log. You can kind of go in there and see maybe which ones you're missing if you happen to miss any, but if you pick them all up as I show you, that shouldn't be a problem. There is missable achievement, I believe, in each chapter for maybe unlocking a safe or something like that. Or doing kind of something not required for progression. I'll of course point all those out. The dialogue in this game is extremely cheesy, and all of this dialogue, all of these cutscenes are not skippable, so we just kind of have to suffer through them. Honestly, the game can be completed. I think I'm going to do this guide in about an hour. That's probably 20 minutes of gameplay, 20 or 25 minutes of cutscenes, and the rest in loading screens that you just have to kind of deal with. So here we're kind of getting our bearings straight in this room, and we can start exploring. Tells you kind of basically what the buttons do. A is your investigate or interact. You see a little dot, that's your cursor. Your sticks are to move and look around. First thing you want to do is come over to this door and interact with it. It is locked, but what's going to happen is a lot of times you'll do something in the game that causes something else to happen in the room. So by interacting with this door, you're going to see that poster fall down, and there's an item in that poster I couldn't reach, but now I will be able to once the poster falls. Something else I did fail to mention is the first achievement pops automatically when you start this first section for launching the game. I'll try to do a better job of pointing out when the achievements happen, because since I already have them, I'm not going to see them on my screen. I just got to kind of remember when they happen. So after that's done, I'm going to head over to this poster that fell down, and there is a screwdriver blade that I can pick up. And you see, whenever your cursor turns red, you can interact. So even if it's just something where it tells you this poster is so old, blah blah blah. Left bumper opens up your inventory. I could now press A on this head of a screwdriver and make it my active item. You'll see over there on the left side of the screen. I don't want to use it now, so I'll just go try to use it on this poster, and it says no effect and disappears. I'm going to come pick up this umbrella, and I'm going to walk behind to this curtain and interact with it, and it'll give me the ability to slide it left to open things up, and there's going to be another brief unskippable scene here for 30 or so seconds.
Strange. What's that noise? An alarm clock? How do I turn this stupid thing off? The sound is irritating.
Okay, so back in control, I'm going to come over to the desk and interact with this sheet of paper. That is the first memo that will unlock an achievement for picking up a memo for the first time. Every time you pick up a memo, you get that notification in the upper right-hand corner. You can push up on the D-pad to open the little memo ledger. Here is the first memo, some sort of newspaper articles. And then I'm going to interact with this bottle on the table. That's going to give me the option to flip it over or rotate it. Once I do that, I can push up and down to shake it, and a coin will fall out. I'm going to press left bumper, open my inventory, make the umbrella my active item, and then interact with the coin. We will use the umbrella to reach over and get that coin. Then I'm going to simply pick up the coin, now that it is within my reach. Something else I'm going to point out are there are a lot of puzzles and various things in this game that you have to try to solve and figure out. I already know all the solutions, so I won't really necessarily be showing you how I figured out those solutions. Just to streamline the video, I'm just going to be beelining it from objective to objective and putting in the solution answers to progress. So what we want to do here is make this head of a screwdriver your active item, then interact with this drawer. Even though it says no effect, the drawer opens up. I can pick up the handle to a screwdriver. Here we are shown how to combine items. I can press A on that item, scroll over to the other part of the screwdriver and press Y. That has successfully created a complete screwdriver and will unlock an achievement for combining items for the first time. Turn right, come over to this piano. I need to play these keys in a specific order. It says a 14-note melody. Well, here they are numbered, 1 through 6. You can read those numbers up there if you kind of squint or look hard enough. So if I interact with this keypad from left to right, I'm going to go 1 1 5 5 6 6 5 4 4 3 3 2 2 1. That will unlock an achievement for playing the secret or the correct melody on the piano. Found that there's actually another melody that you can play to give you a different item from up here. For right now, I'm going to take this bolt cutters. The other item produced is some sort of dart that I found absolutely no use for as I progressed through the game. And there are several items that I did find that seemed to serve no purpose. I was still able to complete the game and all of the achievements without using them, so I'm not even going to go out of my way to get them. Now that I have the bolt cutters, first I want to come over to this alarm clock. I want to interact with it. I'm going to rotate it, LB to get to my inventory, choose the screwdriver, and then use it, and that's going to open up the back of the alarm clock to where I can grab a key. I'm going to make that key my active item and back up and go over to that locked door, and I want to kind of get my cursor on the little lock below so that the key will be used there to unlock the door. Once the door opens up, I'm going to pick up this photograph, which is another memo of a rabbit doll. I'm going to use this switch to flip it to on, and now the lamp on the desk will be on and there will be a scrap of paper I can take. And then if I head back towards the other side of the room, above that poster that fell, there's another scrap of paper I can pick up. Now I need to make the bolt cutters my active item and then use it on this chain and kind of push up and down to pinch off. The chain will break. I'll have access to the door. There's some sort of a box here that with an arrow on it. I want to open my inventory and select the coin and use it in that coin slot, and now this box will open up. Interact with the bottom part of the box. You're given an option to clean it by toggling up and down. Open the inventory, select the first piece of paper and place it in. Select the second piece of paper and place it in. Back up, and now there's a puzzle here with 3 alphabetical rotating pieces. Here we have MUR, so I'm going to change this to DER to create the word murder. That activates a television set on the other side of the room.
From the TV.
As soon as I regain control, I'm going to walk over and interact with the TV. That's going to trigger a maybe minute or so long cutscene that we just kind of have to suffer through.
You must have been trapped by him. I can only talk to you in this way, but I will help you leave.
Shirley? Is that you? Who trapped me here? Where am I?
Shirley? No, I'm not Shirley. You must get out of here now. Otherwise, something horrible will happen.
What the hell is going on? Where's Shirley?
I don't have much time. You need to protect yourself. The exit is on the 2nd floor. Leave now, quickly.
Hold on! Don't go! What is going on? I have to find Shirley as soon as possible and get her out of this place.
Okay, now I'm back in control, and we got a 3rd memo, an image of a strange woman. So now all I need to do is interact with this now open door. That's going to trigger another scene. This one's about 2 minutes long, and this is the end of Chapter 1. So here's what we're looking at right now.
So I've been locked up in here.
2 minutes or so of cutscene, a loading screen, and then it's going to show me that splash screen for Chapter 2. Never press B on those splash screens or it backs you up to the main menu and then you have to deal with a bunch of loading screens to get back into the game. So I will simply press A, it will create another loading screen, it will eventually load me back into this hallway at the start of Chapter 2, and that's when I will rejoin you with commentary.
Help me. Please hurry. I don't know how much longer I'll last here. In Last Harbor. Last Harbor. I remember now. I took the wrong street while I was looking down at the map. Then I woke up in this weird room. This is a photo of us when we were kids in LA. She and I are the only ones with a copy. Anyway, she must be in trouble now. Shirley, please be okay.
I will mention that during this loading screen, I believe the achievement for completing Chapter 1 should unlock. Okay, and here we have the splash screen for Chapter 2. Remember, only press A. We'll have another loading screen, which is wonderful design. The next chapter will actually start with, I believe I need to press A to actually initiate the start of the chapter, and then my character is going to stand up and kind of look around and mumble some thoughts as he assesses his new environment, and then I will finally be in control and able to continue with the video. What's up guys, it's Sully, and today I'm doing a 100% full game walkthrough for Dying Reborn, and I'm making this video on behalf of Macca. This game is sort of an escape the room, point and click adventure, first person perspective. You kind of explore your surroundings, find some items that you can interact with or maybe combine, solve some puzzles. The game has 19 achievements worth 1,000 Gamerscore. The bulk of the game is progression related, I should say the bulk of the achievements. Some of them are missable. What I want to point out before I start this new game is the game has incredibly long loading screens and unskippable cutscenes, and the settings menu is not available in the game, so if you, like I do, prefer your Y-axis inverted, make sure you do that before you start the game, and I suggest cranking the brightness up to 100 to make things easier to see. So with that done, I will start a new game. You can make manual saves. I'm not really sure why you would because there is a chapter select, but start a new game, choose that first autosave item, I guess. I'll go ahead and overwrite it, and I'll get started. The general structure of this game is there are 6 chapters or sections. There is a chapter select, so you could go back and replay specific chapters if you need to. Each chapter will feature a long loading screen that will bring us to a splash screen where you can choose to actually start the chapter and then have another long loading screen. Then once you actually start the chapter, there's going to be a brief cutscene that kind of shows your character getting his bearings straight around the area, and then you'll have control and can start exploring and making your way through. So here I've pressed A at this splash screen for section or chapter 1, and now we'll have another loading screen. Take this time to explain the achievements. Like I said, most of them are progression related. There is one for collectibles, which are called, what are they called? Collectibles are called Memos, and you will find them, I think 25 total is no long cutscene. The game's antagonist will now speak to us through this TV screen. During or maybe after this interaction, an achievement for
but ruthlessness
watching a man and a woman on TV should unlock.
Who are you?
Oh, please pardon my rudeness. I am the host here, and all of this is under my control. You may call me the Guide. I guide the puny, the weak, and the wretched like yourself to a new world. Are you prepared to receive my gifts?
What are you talking about? You're crazy. What have you done to me? Where is Shirley?
Now, no need to get defiant, Matthew. I have some great entertainment in store for you. You will be amazed. I promise you.
Hey! Who the hell are you? Why do you know my name? Where is Shirley?
Shirley? She really is quite charming, isn't she?
Hey, asshole! What did you do to her? Ah! Damn it. Here it comes again, my head! He must have done something to me. I can't remember anything before waking up in that room. And this constant headache. Damn it, Shirley is probably trapped in this house. And that lunatic might be torturing her, too. I have to find her before that lunatic kills me.
Okay, so there we now have received another memo, image of unfamiliar man. Now that I have control, I will use this magnetic card on that panel. It's going to open up this caged door to my left. I'll come in here and interact with this briefcase. Pressing to the left, the code on the left is 520. And I will back up, interact again, put in the code on the right, which is 345. Then I can back up and pick up another key card from inside there. This next part I'm not certain is required, but I'm going to do it anyway just to be safe. I'm going to pick up this tape here on this box. I'm going to come to the end of the hallway and interact with the door. It's going to make these boxes sort of crumble. As soon as I regain control, I'm going to turn around and interact with the box in the middle to acquire a radio. I'm going to set that radio on the table. There'll be a very noticeable spot on the table for placing it. Now I'm going to interact with this panel on the wall. I need to turn off the electricity, so I'm going to switch one of these dials. The electricity is now off and I received a one-way cable connector. So I'll make that my active item and I'll place it on the end of this wire. And I will make the tape my active item and tape up the frayed end. Now I need to go into here and I need to orient these things like so. So you see the bottom left one is pointing down into the right, the bottom right one is down to the left, the bottom left one is down to the right, the upper one is down to the left. Green light turns on, electricity is on, and I can interact with the radio. Using my D-pad, I will move over to F, and then I will move up to 104. This is how I got the combination to the briefcase. There is an achievement for solving all of the numeric puzzles. I'm not sure if this counts as part of it or if it's just for opening safes, but I went ahead and did that anyway since it only took about a minute, just to be safe. So now we'll come out and go to the other panel on the other wall. I will use that other key card. It's going to let me into this next section. Once I get in here, I'm going to come over and pick up this umbrella hanging from the doorknob, make it my active item, turn around, and use it on the clipboard and bottle of alcohol in this office room. That's going to get me the key. If I can get my cursor on the key. There we go. I'll make the key my active item and use it on the key lock. Before I enter this room, I'm going to interact with this closure notice. That's going to give me a memo, and then I'm going to pick up this piece of paper off of the closure notice. Come into the office, I'm going to interact with this item on the desk. That's also a memo. It is the customer's comments. Turn around and interact with this photo on the wall. It'll fall off. I can place this slip of paper into position on the wall, and now I need to put 3 codes on this keypad in order to open 3 lockers. So the first code is You'll kind of just have to watch where I place my squares. There we go. And you'll just have to mimic that pattern. So now, back here, I'll go ahead and toggle them off. And I will put in the second pattern, which is that. And then the third pattern, I will go ahead and toggle them off again. And that is the third pattern. So on unlocking all 3 lockers, you will get the achievement for opening all the lockers. I can back up. This item is irrelevant. You no need to pick it up. It'll just clutter your inventory. Grab this item on the bottom. Grab the Y disc. Make that little knife switch your active item and bring it over to the wall and put it into place. And then interact with that to flip the switch. It'll turn on the fan. A new piece of paper will appear on the table. I can pick up this new piece of paper, make it my active item, place it onto the wall with the other pieces of paper. That's going to trigger a brief cutscene once I interact with it.
What are these strange numbers? They're written on the back of the door. Is that?
Yes, Matthew, it's just as you guessed. How about we get rid of that incessant headache? Go on. You can get rid of it there. After all, alcohol is a man's best friend. And I'd be more than happy to treat you, this being your last harbor and all.
Last harbor? What is that? Is this all designed by you? What do you want? Where is Shirley? Answer me, you coward!
Okay, so that gave us another memo, the plan of the first floor. I'm going to go ahead and exit this room. I'm going to head back towards where we started. So what I will do is now pick up this disc from the fire hydrant. I'm sorry, the fire extinguisher cabinet. And then there's another disc on the cart here. I'll pick that up. I'm going to make the soaked rag my active item, and I'm going to interact with this dirty section under this painting, or this drawing on the wall. Even says, though it says no effect, it reveals the code I used to unlock that safe earlier on, and it gave me a memo that I needed, so that's why I did that. Now I will come interact with whatever this sort of corkboard is, and I can now place these discs. The Y goes on the right, the L goes on the left, the I goes in the middle, and that gives me another memo, so I'll back up. That memo is whatever it was inside that little opening. Now as I head back the other way, something will happen here. This mannequin gets tossed out. When I look in here, I see another code, 7276. That code is different every time. So I bring that code down here to this door and input it, and that's going to trigger the end of Chapter 2. So now what we're going to have is a loading screen, at which point in time the achievement for completing Chapter 2 should unlock. I'll have the splash screen for Chapter 3. I will hit A to load Chapter 3. There will be another loading screen, and then Chapter 3 will load up. There will be that brief introduction. I will finally regain control, and at that point in time I will rejoin you with commentary. Okay, I'll press A to start
What's going on
Chapter
with the doors
3.
here?
We'll have this
I can't
brief
open this one either.
cutscene.
I'm really fed up
sort
with
of
these
explanation of
tricks.
what's
The hell
going
does that
on.
lunatic want? I hope Shirley's still safe. This bar looks eerily familiar. Have I been here before? Why did I just walk out of the ladies' room?
Okay, I'm going to start by interacting with this little panel, and I want to unlock this refrigerator behind the bar. This is essentially a locked refrigerator. It has a 5-digit code. That code is 64328. That will unlock an achievement for opening the bar refrigerator. I'm going to take this black battery and back away. I'm going to come over to this chair, interact, rotate, and take the screwdriver head. Then I'm going to back away and go over to the dartboard, take the knife. And I'm going to head back over this way. I want to grab this red bottle of liquid. I want to come over to this briefcase, and I'm going to put the codes in on either side. On the left, it's 525, and on the right, it's 230. Alright, that will open up. I can take a key. Then I want to go upstairs to the little loft. I'm going to make the kitchen knife my active item. I'm going to interact with this box right here. That will cut it open with the knife. Inside will be a red battery. Come further along, there's a box. Open it up. There's a handle of a screwdriver. I will combine that with the head of the screwdriver. Head back downstairs. And I'm going to interact with this alarm clock. Rotate it around. Use the screwdriver on it. That's going to get me a bottle of liquid. Green. I will combine the green bottle of liquid with the red bottle of liquid to get a blue bottle of liquid. Back away. Make that key my active item. Use it on the lock for this door. Once I get inside, I simply need to interact with this switch and use it. That's going to turn on the fan and make this piece of paper fall onto a table below. I'm going to back out of here. If you want a little surprise, you could turn the opposite direction. I avoided it. So here is this note that is actually a memo. And that gives you sort of that hints towards the code that I used to unlock the bar refrigerator. Now what I need to do is place the batteries into this little toy truck. So I will get the red battery, put it inside, rotate it around. Then I will get the black battery, put it in there. It'll drive and open up, and there's a remote control. I'm going to pick up that remote control, and I'm going to come over to this little bulletin board or whatever it is and use the green liquid on it, the blue liquid. And now it's going to give me the option to clean, so I push up and down, and that gives me another memo. So with that done, we're pretty much done with this chapter. I will make the remote my active item,
Thank
come over to
God.
the TV,
You're still safe.
interact, and that's going to trigger
Great.
another
It's
minute
you
or so
again.
long cutscene.
I met that lunatic after going out the door. He wants to trap me here. Can you open this door for me?
No, I can't do that now. Listen, I don't have much time. And he's coming.
Who, that madman? Does he live with you? Who are you?
I'm Connie. No, you shouldn't be asking me these questions.
What was that sound?
It came from the kitchen. It's too late. I have to go now. You must regain your memory, Matthew. Quickly. Go to the kitchen.
Why do I have to go to the kitchen?
Because Shirley is there.
Who are you? What do you want? Don't hurt Shirley! I'll give you anything you want. Just don't hurt her. No! Shirley!
Okay, back in control. Now we'll simply walk over to the door that we came in through. I'm going to interact with it. That's going to trigger a loading screen. This is the end of Chapter 3. During this loading screen, the complete Chapter 3 achievement should pop. That will then lead me to the splash screen for Chapter 4. I will press A to go through the next loading screen, and then Chapter 4 should start shortly thereafter. and that's when I'll rejoin you with commentary. Okay, here we are in Chapter 4. It takes place in this kitchen. This is a very short chapter. This room has a lot of stuff to interact with, a lot of items and interactions that are completely unnecessary for achievement progression. So I'm going to do the bare minimum to get us through and meet all the requirements that we need. I'm going to start by turning to the left and inputting a code. Code is 23995. That's going to drain some water from a drain and allow me to reach some sort of a scraper. So I'll back away from this, head along this counter. I'm going to pick up this recipe that is a memo item. I'm going to come around to the table. This red card is a memo item. I could figure out how to put, there we go. And then I'm going to come over to the refrigerator, take this off of the refrigerator. That is also a memo item. I'm going to interact with the safe. I need to put in another code in order to unlock the safe, and it is this. So there's an achievement for opening that safe. They call it a coffer. I do not need the item from within, so now I'm going to open up the refrigerator. The code is 711. And I actually don't even need to open up the top section. I do need to open the bottom section. I'm back here. I forgot to pick up this item that had in the drain from where the water drained out. And now make that small shovel my active item interact with the frost. And this will trigger another cutscene that we'll have to suffer through.
It's probably just Connie.
Nice to see you again, Matthew. You've been doing very well, but you must be tired. How about a little motivation?
I just want to see Shirley. You told me Shirley was here. Just what do you want from me? I've done everything you asked.
No need to get this worked up. I'll tell you soon enough. But first, you should take out the items from the fridge.
Do you mean that rotten thing? It looks like some kind of internal organ.
I'm sure you saw the knife and fork set on the table when you came in. Well, now you can use it. Eat it. And you'll be yet another step closer to Shirley.
No! Why on earth would I do such a thing? I will never ever eat that thing.
Mankind is quite a creature of contradiction. Never say can or cannot when you actually mean willing or unwilling. It's up to you. How important is Shirley to you? It's your decision. Now, enjoy your dinner, Matthew.
Okay, back in control, I need to pick up this heart and make it my active item and interact with the microwave. I will automatically get the heart back. Make it my active item again, interact with this plate on the table.
Blood vessel?
And this is the final cutscene of this chapter.
It's like some kind of animal heart.
This will lead to a loading screen, at which point in time the achievement for completing Chapter 4 will unlock. And of course we will have the splash screen for Chapter 5, and then another loading screen, and then I will rejoin you at the start of Chapter 5.
Shit, I know! Shut up, you bastard! Matthew, come on now. You can do it. It's just the heart of an animal. Come on. You must swallow it. Do it for Shirley. Once I save Shirley, I swear I'm gonna kill that lunatic. Oh, the smell! So disgusting. Close your eyes. Don't think. Just chew. Swallow it. It'll be over soon. Something's stuck. A tag? What does it say? 105?
How does it taste? Not so bad, right? And that tag is your prize. 105 is your next destination.
What? You made me eat that nasty thing. Just to give me that tag? You told me Shirley was in the kitchen, but there's no one here. You liar! Why do I keep listening to you?
I never said you had to listen to me. I told you, it's your decision. Of course, you can choose to just stay here.
No!
If I were you, I would take some time to think. And then you may remember why you are here.
Okay, so here we are in
Sure
Chapter
enough,
5.
locked
And we'll
in.
begin with the introduction and assessment.
Crazy guy fooled me again. Oh man. Oh, my stomach is still turning. But now I have no choice. I have to follow him. I don't really understand what's going on, but I'm sure Shirley is involved. Hopefully I'll find out more here.
Okay, I'll start by turning to the right and interacting with this case. It's going to get me a memo, some sort of sheet of paper. And I'm going to interact with it once more. Actually, no, I need to pick up this fishing rod on the table first. Now I will interact with it on the front, and it's going to give me access to this lock, and we need to put this specific order of shapes, I guess, into position. The first one is left to right. The second one is going to be up and then to the right. and the next one is to the right and down, then the next one is down and to the right, and then the next one is up and to the right. That done, the case will open. I can now make that fishing rod my active item and place it in the case. That will reveal a key. I can take the key. Now I want to come over to this safe. I want to put in the combination for this safe. It is 3125, and then hit enter. After I do that, the achievement should unlock for solving all password puzzles. I'm going to take the account book, which is a memo. I'm going to come around to the left. A couple of things over here on this shelving, first of which is another memo, a magazine clipping. Then I need to take this broken trophy. Then come around under this table, pick up this ashtray, make it my active item, interact with the glass, and then pick up this fish head. Now I'm going to turn around, make the key my active item, and use it on this upper left drawer. That's going to give me access to some sort of fishing line. Pick up this memo off of the desk. It is a newspaper clipping. Then I'm going to come back over to this open case. I'm going to put the fishing line roll off on the left. It's going to open up and reveal a base. Then I'm going to come over to the wall. There's an empty plaque. I'm going to place the fish head on that plaque and the base underneath. Once I do that, I simply interact with it anywhere on this fishy wall, and now I have a cursor that allows me to select any of these fish, and I need to place them in a specific order. So this guy goes here, the guy with the red stripe goes in the bottom right, the catfish looking thing goes in the bottom left, this forward-facing head with teeth goes in the bottom center. This guy goes in the upper right. And I need to reverse these, I think. Yes. And that's the final placement for all of the fish. Once they're in that exact order, that middle bottom fish's mouth will open. And I can take this trophy out of it, a base of a trophy, combine it with the pieces of a trophy to create an intact trophy. And that should unlock an achievement for recovering the broken trophy. I'm going to make that broken trophy my active item, place it in this little blue area down here. That's going to trigger another cutscene.
Wait a minute. Do you mean that person in the newspaper?
That's right. David, outstanding man. He seems almost perfect, but it's a complete lie. There are many memories here, both good and bad.
Do you know David?
Far from it.
I don't understand. That's Shirley's fiancé. What do you know about him? Why are his things here?
No, he's coming. Run.
Okay, back in control, I'm going to head over to the door, interact with the door. It's going to trigger another cutscene.
This room is full of lies. People always believe what they want to believe. To be a gentleman, you just need some sharp clothes and brilliant words. But what lies beneath the clothes? No one cares anyway. You, of all people, would know that.
And up into the ventilation shaft we go. So there's one little bit we still need to do in order to complete this chapter. We're going to be in these sort of ventilation ducts. As soon as we regain control, you need to turn around 180 degrees, head towards a yellow lit area, and pick up a wrench. And to suffer this heavy breathing. The wrench picked up, we can turn back around and follow this linear path. At the other end is another yellow lit area. You want to stay to the left because there's like some steps going up on the right that you'll auto climb if you're too close to them. Pick up this mannequin arm. Now go up the steps. And we're going to find a fan on the bottom. And we want to interact with it first with the mannequin arm to stop it. Then with the wrench in order to remove it and be able to drop down through into the next room. This is the end of Chapter 5. What we're going to have now is a loading screen, during which point the complete Chapter 5 achievement should unlock. We'll have that splash screen for Chapter 6, another loading screen, and I will rejoin you at the start of the 6th and final chapter. Okay, so here we are at the start of Chapter 6.
Why
I
does my
will
body ache?
initiate this
I'm
assessment
lying on the floor
cutscene.
to get away from that lunatic. I climbed into the ventilation.
There
duct.
should be 4 achievements left.
So it
One
must have
for
fallen out
watching all of the
afterwards.
TVs, one for using a
Hopefully I got away from that
mechanism,
lunatic once and for all.
one for collecting all of the
Damn,
memos,
it's
and one
room
for
block
completing
2.
the 6th chapter. The three of them are progression related and unmissable, and the final memos are in this chapter, so we are almost complete. We have almost completed the game at this point. So now we'll walk forward, pick up this coin, pick up the high heel shoe from the bag, open this drawer and take the necklace. Come into the larger part of the room. There is a bulb on a little table. Pick that up. There's another high heel shoe on this strange structure. There is a knob of some sort on this little cart. There is a makeup powder puff on this table. I want to make the bulb my active item and place it off to the right where you can see there's a missing bulb. Now I can place the coin in the coin slot, and I can press that button. It's going to open up a little drawer below. I want to make the knob my active item and place it on the receptacle. Now if I interact with that little section, it's going to give me access to these 3 knobs. So I want to move the one on the left so it's pointing down, the one in the center pointing up to the left, the one on the right pointing up and to the right. That's going to activate the nearby TV. I can come over here now and interact with this TV for a cutscene. We're going to actually end up interacting with this TV a second time. I don't recall at which point the achievement for watching all of the TVs unlocks. It might be during or after this scene, or it might be during or after the next one, but it will definitely happen.
Worse.
Of course you would say that. But in reality, indifference is the biggest culprit of all. It is the soil evil breeds in. The sins are encouraged by that innocent silence.
What are you saying? Serving justice is what the police are for. Everyone has their own responsibilities, so you shouldn't expect people to fix your problems for you. You also shouldn't meddle in other people's business either.
Meddle? It would seem you have forgotten something important. Perhaps you never cared at all. If so, let me give you some advice, Matthew. Check the closet that just opened. She's been waiting for you for a while. And I have prepared a small gift for you.
Okay, back in control, head over to the left. First thing we're going to do is take this dress, and then this pendant. Combine the pendant with the necklace. Now open the other 2 doors. You're going to get a memo with a corpse. Then we need to dress the corpse. So we'll put the shoes on her feet, and the dress on her torso. That will give us another memo for a dressed corpse. Pick up this little makeup item. Come over here and combine these 2 makeup items. Actually, we didn't need to come over here. We can now put the makeup on her face and the necklace around her neck. And that's going to open up a thing with a coin, so we'll take the coin. Then we want to interact with this puzzle below her feet. So I got stuck here once after it culminated, so I would suggest stepping essentially as far away as you can when you interact with it. The way it's going to work is we need to move these panels into the proper positioning. The D-pad will control the orientation of the highlighted panel. The left stick will allow you to switch which panel you're controlling. So we're going to move the blank panel out of the way to the right. I'm going to move this arrow panel into the second slot, and then I'm going to move the fish panel back into the first slot. Now I'm going to move the blank panel over to the left. Then I'm going to move these 2 panels over to the left once. Then I'm going to move the 6-9 panel down into the final open slot. And that is the solution for this puzzle. That opens the drawer below. I can take another coin. So I want to come back to this device, insert the silver coin, press the button. That opens up this drawer again, and I want to orient the knobs like this. Left down to the right, and then the other 2 pointing straight down. That's going to open up a drawer below with some lipstick. Make that my active item. Put the lipstick on the corpse's lips. That gives me another memo. It also opens up this little slot where I can take another memo, a piece of paper from the corpse. Hey, there's the solution to the puzzle below, but we already knew that. So now I will put the third and final coin in the coin slot. Press the button. Now there's a switch I can push. Push the switch. TV is active once more. I'll go over and interact with the TV for the final time.
Everything seems to be going well. And you seem to be enjoying it, right, Matthew? You have to admit that a woman's ornaments are quite fascinating.
All I want to do is quickly end this boring and disgusting game of yours. So Shirley and I can get the hell out of here just as you promised.
I'm sure I didn't promise anything. Just as I've said all along, all I have done is guide you. To help you regain your memory, to find something buried deep in your mind.
Since I've been here, I haven't done a single thing that actually helped me under your so-called guidance. One of us must be completely insane. Or maybe you've had the wrong person from the very beginning. I really have no idea what you're going on about.
You jump to conclusions too easily, Matthew. Do you see the bed with the beautiful patterns? Put her on it. And then perhaps you'll finally see your Shirley.
Okay, back in control, we want to come over to the corpse and interact with it. That's going to trigger a scene. During the scene, the corpse is dragged over to that bed platform thing and placed onto it. This will unlock the achievement for using the mechanism to pierce her in Chapter 6. Back in control, you want to interact with the base of this platform machine, and that will give you another memo. So we can back off from here, come back one last time to these knobs, and orient them in this position. We want the one on the left to point up, the one in the middle to point down to the right, and the one on the right to point up and to the right. That's going to make a door open and a note fall out. That note is our final memo. So all I need to do is come back here, interact with this memo, and that's going to initiate the final cutscene of the game. At this point in time, the game is complete. During this cutscene, the achievement for finding all of the memos in the game will unlock, and at some point in time during or after this cutscene, we will get the achievement, the final achievement for completing Chapter 6, and you will have completed the game, 1000 Gamerscore, 19 achievements. This is where I'm going to wrap up the commentary. I want to thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I want to thank Macca again for keeping me involved, and I hope to see you again in a future video.
Where is Shirley? You lied to me! What have you done with her?
Lie? But you've seen Shirley. She's always been there. When you held her, didn't she seem familiar to you? Like you'd seen her before? Surely you noticed the stench that fills the room. And don't forget what you did in the kitchen. The marks on that body weren't just random drawings. To be precise, you and Shirley did more than just meet.
You... No! It's not true! Ah! Why? Why did you do that?
You know, although Harbor Town is not as busy as it used to be, this hotel is not that far out of the way. And perhaps there is someone passing by, and perhaps they will hear your calls for help. But just as you said, who wants to meddle in other people's business, right? Now, your calls for help will be ignored by others. Tell me, Matthew, still believe then?
You bastard. Help! Can anyone hear me? I've been kidnapped! Call the police! No.
Maybe my name will help you remember. My name is Colby.
Colby? Harbor Town Hotel. You were the boy. Needed help.
Enjoy it. The pain of being helpless and all alone. For me, however, it's this pain that gives me power. I hope you can enjoy the pain, Matthew. Because the trials waiting for you are far from over.